Welcome back, Mentees, to Near Mint Condition, a channel where you can be part of a positive, honest community and lay claim to some comic book knowledge. I'm your host, the astonishing Melanie, and today I will be doing an overview / what's the difference, Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology and the recent hardcover collection of P. Craig Russell's adaptation of Norse Mythology. So, please stay tuned. Dark Horse published this last month, and the Uncanny Omar said, I'll wait for the library edition. And I said, could you please go ahead and order it? Because I love the book. And he said, okay. So here we are, Mentees. We've got this hardcover collection, an anthology of artists here. P. Craig Russell is the one who scripted and laid out the stories. And then the artist joined in because this is a collection of many stories. Here we have a glimpse of the back, and as you can see, a more dynamic Thor's Hammer cover. Yes, I said Thor's Hammer. I am not going to try to say that name and mess it up 10 times, because you know I've already messed up this video 50 times before even starting. Volume 1 collects the stories from the first half of the book. So as I flip through this, I feel like I don't really need to avoid spoilers, because a correct amount of time has transpired on these myths, perhaps? So in the prologue, it's going to explain how the world began. You may recognize this guy from Thor Ragnarok, Surtur, who's going to herald in the Ragnarok. Love that movie, by the way. Love that beginning. It's hilarious. We've got the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge. So here we're getting into Mike Mignola territory with lots of shadows and shading. And technically, this is good art. I can completely see that. However, it's just not for me. It does fit the mood of that story, though. And of course, text is taken straight from Neil Gaiman's 2017 publication and put into the comic. Here's the interesting thing, though. See here in this panel, he gave the horn to Heimdall, Watchman of the Gods. Skip. Heimdall will blow the blah 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 horn only once at the end of all things at Ragnarok. Here, I'll show you what skipped. Odin gave the blah 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 horn to Heimdall, Watchman of the Gods. On the day the Gull horn is blown, it will wake the gods, no matter where they are, no matter how deeply they sleep. Then goes back to the script. Heimdall will blow the Gull horn only once at the end of all things at Ragnarok. Now, in my head, when I read this, it seems more epic with the inclusion of that sentence. Try as I might, I can't pinpoint, I can't give words to what it is that's lacking here, but it's more satisfying, more mysterious to me the way it's laid out here in this text. Next, we have The Treasures of the Gods by Jerry Ordway, and I do like his art style. So here we have Loki. He stole Thor's wife's hair, and because he thought it was funny, or he cut it off. So he needs to get it back. He comes up with a cunning plan to trick the dwarves into recreating Sif, Thor's wife's, Sif's hair, so he can, live. He promises his head, and they're working hard at it. He's like, oh shoot, they're gonna actually win this contest. He turns into a fly to bite them, to keep the guy from pumping the forge, keeping it at the right temperature. Then they go and present their gifts. Oh yeah, she's got her hair. He's got a ring, he's got a sail. This is where Thor gets his hammer. Jerry Ordway does a great job of building through the artwork the excitement in Thor's face and the glee he has for having a new weapon that he can't break. In the text itself, Thor looked interested. He had already broken a great many weapons over the years, normally by hitting things with them. Thor was now actually smiling, and the Thunder God did not often smile. I think I figured it out, Mentees. The dry humor. I think that's why I like the original book better. As you can tell from my insert from Blackadder, a British comedy from a long time ago, I like dry humor. That's what it is. I'm not getting the dry humor in this. So let's compare the rest of the stories to the original 2017 publication. The Master Builder. This story, the art is done by Kowalski. First name, Piotr. Thor's away fighting giants, having fun with his hammer, right? This guy comes up, is like, I could build you a wall to protect you from the giants, but you gotta give me the sun, the moon, and Freya. And she was like, what? as she got mad in another story as well. Completely don't blame her. And they're like, yeah, sure, fine, but you got like a year to do it. And he's like, okay. So he's got his horse, but he can't have any other help, and he is doing great. I love that face. And they're getting worried, right? And Loki's like, no, he'll be fine. There's no way that he can win this contest. He's not going to take the sun, the moon, and Freya. Of course, Freya's like, whatever. Love that part. Let me back up and show you a comparison between when they're deciding to agree to this deal and the text. So here we do have Loki, just a little cough. And they turn to look at him. Okay. In the book, though, it's described as, there was a dry cough from a corner of the hall. It was the kind of cough intended to attract attention, and the gods turned to see who had coughed. They found themselves looking at Loki, who stared back at them, and who smiled and held up a finger as if he had something important to divulge. Ooh, divulge. That's what I miss from here, is that dry description, so simple. I guess it's just Neil Gaiman's voice, right? It's really on point for me. And I do have to admit, I'm so sorry, please don't hate me, but I'm not in love with every Neil Gaiman story. There are some that I just don't particularly care for, and others I fall in love. I suppose Neil Gaiman is hit or miss for me. Don't hate me. Alright, so Loki turns into a horse to distract this guy's horse, and stuff ensues, and he loses. But you know what, Thor comes back. It's all good at the end. The Children of Loki, art by David Rubin. I think I like this version better than the book. Okay, and let me show you. Because when they're talking about Loki's 3 children, we've got Hel, we've got what is it, Jormungandr. And then we have the wolf, Fenrir. That is an awesome shot. So the gods are they're like, oh shoot, he's going to be really, really strong. So the gods are trying to tie him up and trick him and things like that. And the way he breaks out of his chains every time, I like better in this version with the art. And then him slowly putting his hand in, paneling it out like that, of course, is more dramatic, intense than in the story. So they eventually do trick him with this simple ribbon that's actually magical. Oh, look at that face! Poor Fenrir. He chops off his friend's hand, biting it in half, and there you go. Jill Thompson, I love her colors. Freya's unusual wedding. Okay, so here's Freya again. She's the most beautiful. This ogre wants her. He took Thor's hammer to hold his ransom. You gotta come marry me. All right. Well, no, she's not going to. Loki transforms into a girl. Thor dresses up as a woman to trick the ogre into marrying him. So they go to the wedding feast. Trixies all around. Thor finally has enough once he gets hold of his hammer and kills everybody. I love that silly position there. Here at the end, he says, that wasn't as bad as I'd feared. I've got my hammer back, and I had a good dinner. Let's go home. All right. So you've got that really split up with the paneling, right? In the book, Thor was already taking off his women's skirts with relief. He stood there wearing nothing but a shirt in a room filled with dead giants. I love that. Of course, in here, he does have the skirts on, but still, there's nothing focusing on that. That wasn't as bad as I'd feared, he said cheerfully. I've got my hammer back, and I had a good dinner. Let's go home. Again, that quicker pace, I like better in the book. All right, to finish it up, we've got the cover gallery from the various artists. Look how pretty those are. The colors are, oh wow, that one's cool too. As you can tell, I saved this for last to actually look at the cover art along with you guys. Yeah, oh gosh, beautiful colors. Oh, I love this story. That's not in there. Oh yeah, and he made a joke about he would bet his right hand that they were going to try to do something to the wolf, and then he gave up his right hand. I think that's sad. Huh, that's interesting. Ooh, look at all those swirls. And a sketchbook. You always gotta finish it off with some sketches. In conclusion, I did enjoy the original publication more. I like Neil Gaiman's voice, the touch he adds to these old myths that just doesn't translate into this, right? And that's completely understandable. You've got P. Craig Russell adapting the story, and then you've got him along with other artists drawing it. Thank you so much for watching, Minties. Please check out our spread shop with our NMC merchandise, link found in the description below. And hey, know that you can open up your own spread shop if you have a comic book store or an online company to sell merchandise, or even if you want to make something special for your friends. It's really easy. There's no minimum order to be placed. They print on demand. So go check it out. You can see what other people have made, or you could upload your own design. Finally, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button if you would wish to experience daily comic book videos. And as always, stay minty!